collections.
Dennis, good work that's happening. You got space here. You're good. Absolutely, take it. And we've got, if somebody wants to offer refreshments to our new guests, please, that would be appreciated. So we've, I think, done a lot of really amazing things when it comes to improving affordability. Our budget had 21 affordability initiatives. I'm just going to summarize a handful of them here. First of all, we introduced a $1,500 homeowner affordability tax credit. So that tax credit, I think, for the average Manitoban, in fact, about 80% of Manitobans who live in homes that are valued about $450,000 and less, are going to see, as a result of that, a big bump in terms of the amount, or sorry, credit that for the average Manitoban is going to save them hundreds of dollars each year. We also brought in these broad-based middle-class tax cuts. So your personal income taxes, each of you have what's called a basic personal exemption, right? So that's the amount of income you can. So that means it's another $3,000 or so that you're earning where you're not paying taxes on that. More money in your pocket. We also increased tax brackets. So what we did is by changing some of the tax bracket changes we made, more of your income is being taxed at a lower bracket. Which lowered auto insurance rates by 5%. That's self-explanatory. We created an EV rebate program, which was, I think, a really wonderful program that has seen, I'll go back to you in a sec, has seen us really have a huge increase in the number of Manitobans who are driving EVs. And what does that mean? We're sending less of our dollars out to other jurisdictions that are making oil, and we're keeping that money here and we're paying ourselves for fuel, right, with Manitoba Hydro. You had a comment or a question?
Basically useless except for scooting around town, which is case it's great. The other problem I just recently learned was all these people that do have chargers, none of them in the north end of town, at least in North Caldona there isn't any. The other problem is they're charging by the hour, and apparently I just learned that is because Manitoba Hydro has a monopoly on charging by the kilowatt hour. People have to charge by time, and time equals gouging because different vehicles charge at different rates. So if you got one that takes longer to charge, you're paying more than some guy's got a giant battery one. It's ridiculous. So that's part of the problem. The other one is legislating. We're in a condo, legislating that group condos and so on, apartment buildings, have to have charging available. At-home charging is the most economical, most convenient. That needs to be legislated as well. So those are my basic points for that.
Thank you so much. And strong.
4 times the number of chargers, 1/3 of which are free. Mm-hmm. And so that is just a comparative piece. So yeah, anyways.
Thank you. No, yeah, that's bang on. BC is way
To
ahead.
stop the brain drain, so again, to try if somebody was doing their post-secondary at select institutions, and they returned to Manitoba and were filing their tax returns in Manitoba, that they would get up to over a 10-year period, they could recoup, I think, up to $25,000 of their tuition, which was a big help for that age group in trying to get their feet under them as they come out of school. Unfortunately, it was nixed the year that our daughter was returning from foreign studies, but I think that it would have been, it's an excellent program for the young people, and it kind of hits on many things where it's trying to bring that stop the brain drain, if you will, bring those folks back home. So it might be something to consider.
You'd like to see us consider reinstating that, so that's a great item. And I, just by way of just ensuring everyone's clear on that, everything you're sharing, we are taking all this stuff that we have the energy we need to meet the demands of the growing demands from business, right? So I'll tell you, we came in to government in October of God, time's going fast. It was about 1.5 years ago. And when we came in, what was one of the things we learned, and I am the honor of being the hydro minister, one thing that became clear really quickly was that we had a serious need to start moving really quickly in developing new energy. And the reason is that the former government didn't develop a single megawatt over 7.5 years, even start. So that meant we've been sitting on our hands for a long time. And this is a province that has, of course, unbelievable potential when it comes to using our hydroelectricity to benefit all of us, right? So our plan, which we have launched out into the world, that was released, was about, I'd say 5 months ago now, 6 months ago. Number one, it commits us to developing 600 megawatts of new wind energy in partnership with First Nations. So that's like a very, I think, important step in economic reconciliation, offering great economic development opportunities for First Nations in Manitoba. And of course, this sets us right out of the gate. Hydro is working on this. So we're gonna start seeing that energy coming online right when we need it. And I think this is one of the most important things that we've done, which is again, moving very quickly to make sure Manitoba has the energy we need, not only to keep our lights on and our drinks cold in our fridges, but also to make sure that we can have the energy we need when we have investment. Investors come to Manitoba and say, I want to put very importantly, Manitoba Hydro is going to be investing and direct investing in level 3 charging infrastructure around the province. Which means, to your point right now, where you're maybe more limited in getting around, that unlocks the ability to get to, to Westdock or to go up to Thompson. In order to do that, it's not economic for private charging companies to put that money in because right now we don't have the volume of cars. Hydro has to do it. And so very excited to say, to your point, our plan commits us to do that, and I can say Hydro is already working on that. Good stuff coming. So maybe I'll just leave that there. The last thing I'll say on the energy plan, I think, is right now we've got a really, what I think is a nonsensical approach to handing out our energy. So as I said, we have something of an energy shortage if we look into the 2030s, thanks to the work that we're doing. That's not going to be an issue anymore. But right now, we do have something of a 7 years, you guys. Municipalities were getting, guess what their funding increase year over year was for 7 years? Yeah, donuts, right? So what do? We have committed to year over year funding increases, and last year in our first budget, 2%. So it's responsible, it's not massive, but 2% year over year. And I'll tell you, a lot of the municipalities are facing some significant struggles because of years of underfunding. But I think we're taking that very important first step in responding to that. And don't forget, folks, that stuff all tracks back to policing, the quality of your roads, all these things, right? That the last government, through that decision to give zeros, if you're giving a zero and a municipality's costs are going up 2% every year, you can see they're falling behind further and further. So we're responding to that. And then I think just by way of talking about economic growth, what's one of our biggest opportunities aside from doing more with our energy? We have the stuff the world wants in the form of critical minerals, lithium, nickel, cobalt. The world is hungry for this stuff. Good stuff. So let's go to the next slide. So this is just, again, big picture by way of sort of sharing where are we right now. A lot of words on here, and I could probably erase half of that. I'm going to say, see there, this line here, deficit. Sorry, get you up. Just so I can, by way of pointing. You say here. So this guy here, 1.997, $2 billion, 23-24, PC final budget. So when we came into government, we came in sort of midway through the former government's budget. That result at the end of the year was a $2 billion deficit. That's a big deficit, one of the biggest in our province's history. That's what the former government left us, and I'm happy to say we're going to continue to make that progress down to balance. And that's something our Premier and our team have been very clear about. We are going to deliver a balanced budget in the final year of our mandate. So I think, if you take me to the next slide, that is pretty much it. So we're going to go, sorry, please go ahead.
Just because of time, I have maybe a big part of told you another meeting, we have done the foundation for a lot in this room. But I want to speak just for 2 minutes or less, supporting my MLAs, Michelle and Steve, and the community. Maria and government, from healthcare to building roads, to building community center, building houses for the homeless people. But this is wrong. But just briefly, we in North End, since living here, Maria and I lived here for 25 years, has grown Northwest with like 400%. And I say this respectfully because we're family. Nothing the NDP has done for us since 30 years. We have a community center that is 50 years old. We'll keep riding and reduce riding the rest of the two base traffic. And we've been waiting for 50 years for us community center. And
Can you share so the group can hear which community center you're
Maple
talking
Community
about?
Center, it was supposed to be built 50 years ago. And just an example, this government, our government, was just about to fund it when Greg Salinger's government got out of office. We were awarded $7 million to start it. Usually, it's the government start the funding and then other two government will fund it. So that's just a policy. It would be done tomorrow, but these elderlies have really been heard from the community about this center, and they said that it would be one of the priorities.
Maples Community Center.
Yes,
That's-
quote
okay.
unquote. I know there are other dynamics. We wouldn't be that soon, but we'd like you to hear about it. And secondly, we did only little thing we done in the last 50 years here was to renovate the emergency at St. Louis. But the new government that came after Salinger, they made it a walk-in clinic. So as we promised to make that back, should I say accrediting full hospital. That is my second point. A library was to come here for 30 years. Finally it's coming. It's not your jurisdiction, but it's coming. So we are getting some traction. The library will be on soon. We, the school board and neighbors, all these MLAs, we have to pay for that. But I just want to be with you that we have lots to be done. But the refrain that Maria says and the people here, we vote for the NDP every year, every time, but they do nothing for us. I say that wisely there. And if I get 10 seconds, if anyone can tell me what we have done, and I'm a member for 50 years, we didn't do anything much. So, sir, it's a little tall order. But if you can help us out with the community center, help us out with the school grounds that we have, that we are working on, we will be happy that you'll be on the agenda, not necessarily next week. And we thank you for willing to help us with 2 new schools, almost one of them are halfway done, and 2 is in the making, because we're growing fast. And Marie, I will continue more, but if you'd like to say something in the same thing, please do. But
The south of Winnipeg, and it looks like a different city than the north. And it shouldn't be. Our students, our community members, they're reserved just as much as them on the other end. We pay a lot of taxes, and I know some of this is not directly related to provincial. I understand that. But we have to have something going. Something has to happen where we start feeling that we're heard, and many of us don't. I hear that all the time when I go door-to-door campaigning, and then we try and do things, but people come to the table, but it's almost like on deaf ears. And I think that if the NDP because NDP in north of Winnipeg has been here for a very long time, it doesn't show. They need to start feeling it and seeing it, because we are dedicated to the NDP. We vote for NDP all the time. If we didn't, you wouldn't have been in the north of Winnipeg as many years, right? So I'm not just saying this, right? We have been devoted, but to no avail. And we're not sure why.
Well, I really have really annoyed Adrian and Minister Sala on schools and a bunch of stuff. And I'm gonna keep doing it too, right? Like we won't stop. There are always challenges about different priorities and what you need to do as a government, because we're looking at the overall health of Manitoba as a whole. But like, just to give you an example, Minister Sala mentioned what impact that had, and returning funding to the municipalities and creating that 2% escalator enables municipalities to start investing more into bus routes, better road infrastructure. And so still a lot of work to do, no doubt, but this is where you start doing a lot of that work, right? And building on the overall capacity of our province, and on the local grassroots level in communities. But as far as infrastructure and investments, this is a government that invests. And in order to do that, we need to expand our economy, grow our economy. This is why I'm really excited about the mineral announcements, hydro. As the Premier often says, and I think this is a great analogy, the economic force pulls a social cart. What the Minister has given us a run through of what we're doing to feed that economic force so we can do all the important social cart work. And social cart, in my mind, also includes schools. So that's just my feedback here from a Northwest perspective. I don't know if anybody else has.
Yeah, I'll just.
But the hard hats, yeah, but we've got.
And city level, anywhere, in 2019, be committed to building Chief Edwards Trail as well. The only, again, somebody had to start. last time we had a meeting and even Kevin Lemmer said someone had to start that process. That process will have to start from the city of Winnipeg. Really, we are pushing hard. We met mayor, mayor came to this neighborhood yesterday. We were just saying, hey, you know what, thanks for coming to the Northwest Winnipeg and time to build the Cheap Beggars Trail again, right? So again, we are all in there for the Cheap Beggars Trail. We know our school tax is high because no commercial space. I remember last time when the school division did their budget, they were showing like around $400 million of commercial space in our neighborhood, and compared to over $1 billion polo park. And again, we are lobbying it hard. Minister is a good friend of mine as well, to our Northwest group. And he will listen, but again, we have to start pushing other level as well. So, yeah, I know federal NP said he's on board regarding Cheap Beggars Trail. And we will be on board as well, but again, we have to start the process somewhere.
Try the best to send the message out, but sometimes it's a short notice, that's okay. Maria, thank you so much for raising this point, and I want to say thank you to Derek as well. This infrastructure, especially for youth and next generation, this part of the city attracts so many new Canadians, and you know what matters for them is whatever is needed for their kids with the school infrastructure, community centers. But sometimes such projects are multi-layered. We have to approach like 3 levels of government. But we can commit here that the province is in good hands now, and we're open to such projects, and we have been lobbying these things for long now. And this is the time when we can, expand those conversations and talk more about it. We are open to it, and we can find ways to make it happen. But other 2 levels of government have to be on board, and all the representatives should have a time to sit together around the table and talk more about it. Informally, we have talked a lot about it, and I welcome any formal meetings along with my colleagues and our minister and our cabinet and the premier. We are open to it, and we have to make those positive changes. Let's do it.
Rochelle, did you want to?
I want to make sure we have time to hear from all folks, but I just wanted to make sure that I cleared the record that it always hasn't been NDP in all the parts of the North. My seat was conservative since 1986, and I don't take any of anything anyone's saying for granted. Since I was a little girl, part of Chief from Tillage was a field. I used to run through it with my friends to go call in neighbors. Folks from NK would know that. And so, having the Cheap Beggars expansion isn't just like personal for me, but it's also hearing from folks in the school system. You're the first one that put it on my radar to understand the school piece, that we're taking cars racing down, the connecting street between MLA Duggan and myself. I love that street. Special place in my heart. So many election signs on that street, are connecting between Golden River East and McPhillips, but also it's the tax base that you're describing for, the education system. It's, economic growth for, businesses, but it's also safety, right? And so that's how we have to get more sectors to be on board. And Minister's not joking, we talk about it with every single person we can. I was misquoted in the canister, I apologize to the minister about that. I didn't say we're making chief by 2025, I said a federal election year, and I want to make sure that all of you are not only speaking to us about this, but to every level of government, right? Because it's possible, it's not a sure thing, but it's possible there might be new folks federally, and you should make sure that you're speaking to every single person you can about how you feel about this, because we're just some of the people involved in this piece, right? So, thank you so much.
Well, this is such great. Right here.
Yes, further to the Seven Oaks School Board, so I'm from West St. Paul, and of course West St. Paul School is the one rural school in Seven Oaks School Division. West St. Paul has grown massively, and given the numbers that we do know today, it's pretty well a given in my mind that our census numbers from 2021, which had 2,200 households, will be doubled in next year's census and in population.
Healthcare system and the healthcare system. Why is there sort of like a double standard when it comes to the analysis in the healthcare system? When we saw that in the mandate letter for Minister of Advanced Education and we were really happy to see that. And we're also really happy that with caucus, the team has had multiple lobbying to Minister Advice campaign,
Minister Asagora have been working through for some time. I know that they're looking at it very carefully. And so what I would say is appreciating how important this issue is. It's something we hear about a lot. Know that it is a priority for the relevant ministers. We are in discussions about how we can look at advancing that. I can't commit to you anything today. I know you want a different answer. Of course, today we're here to listen, but I think what I can do is say, this is again, one more experience where we're hearing from someone with clarity about the desire to see that happen. So I thank you for that. I can't give you any further answers beyond that today, I apologize, but I do want you to know that that's something that still remains very much top of mind for our relevant ministers, and we continue to work through. So whether it's this budget or beyond, know that we continue to work on that very concern. Sorry, I cannot be beyond that. Thank you for raising that.
Another one on Tuesday, so if you know folks that weren't able to come or you want to go again, make sure we're spreading the word. And folks from all across Manitoba are welcome at any of these. You don't have to be from the area. So we don't have anything to send home with you today, so take a picture of this, or if you aren't able to do that, contact our office and we can send you home with that information or follow up with you another day. So hope to see you Tuesday, or reach out or submit online. Or
A great job every single day for all Manitobans. So thank you everybody. Thank you everybody for doing that for us. Thank you, Minister. Thank you, my colleagues. Thanks to the media, especially after the media is here. I want to say thank you for spending some time and sharing your ideas. It's very important, and I think you liked it today because I saw the engagement, I saw the conversations, and I also want you to maybe ask two of your friends and families, whenever there is an opportunity like this, next time, bring them along or ask them to start attending such meetings, because I am a big fan of bottom-up, policy making. So bottom-up means when people tell what's needed, and the policy makers, they set their targets and goals according to the needs of the people they represent. So I really appreciate you being here. Please bring more people next time, and let's keep this conversation on.
I hope you feel that we really are a listening government, that we're here, it's open, there's really this ability to just directly connect with us. That's the feeling we want you to hopefully walk away with today, that you've had that opportunity for direct feedback. You guys have incredible representatives here. I'm sure that these conversations will all continue. We are here to listen to you and to serve you. Thank you for everything you provided today. We've got some great notes we're going to take back as we go to do that work of budget building. And I hope you all enjoy the rest of this beautiful weekend. So thank you very much.
Please take some snacks with you also.
Yeah, there's snacks.
Yeah. And thank you very much, Minister and all the MLA here. I've been attending a lot of like a town hall from both federal and provincial level. I advocate when Right Expertise was a minister for allowing the RSP to be used without textbook, because I myself, when I went to graduate school, I have to take out my RSP and I pay significant tax. So these things, but every town hall I went, two things I noticed is there's mostly is one way, right? And then whenever the audience try to like bring in comment or even feedback or any question, there's a control that is very limited. Today, I'm very glad.
Give me 1 second. Perfect.
Okay.